Well, hello. It has been a long ass time since you guys have seen me outside of the Taylor reaction videos. This video is so far overdue. It's insane. I am here. I'm alive. I didn't know when the next time I would film would be. It has been about a year, a little over a year since I've consistently posted on this channel, which I never thought I would say. I've taken breaks before, but it's never been like this amount of a break. And it's just been, there's been so much that has happened in the past year and a couple months of my life that it just kind of got away from me. And it was like, suddenly it had been, you know, 2 months, and then it was 6 months, and then it had been 9 months, and then it had been a year, and then it was over a year. And I was just like, oh my God, like I have completely just dropped off my channel, and it was never something I intended to do. But the reality is that life got really hard for me for I would say 10-11 months out of 2019. I was not in a good place, and I just spent every spare moment I had battling a really hard depression. And it was something that had 1,000,001 different factors as to why that had happened. I've struggled with depression on and off since I was 13, but I went through probably the worst bout that I've ever had through 2019, and it was just, you know, using every spare moment I had was, you know, honestly pretty deep in a depression I didn't really know how to handle. It was just a lot of not being even a little bit motivated to do anything when I got home from work. And it was like I went and did the things that were absolutely necessary for me to do to make a living and keep up my household to some sort of degree. And it was really difficult, to say the least. I don't know how much detail I really want to go into about that. There were just a variety of different factors as to why that happened, and it just was really difficult to want to do anything besides lay in bed and hang out with my dog and do anything. That's just the reality of it. And it wasn't because I didn't love YouTube. It wasn't because I stopped watching YouTube. It was literally, I could not do it. Like, I could not get myself to do anything other than the bare minimum. And it was just really difficult. And if the lighting is really weird, it's currently orange outside because California is on fire. This is the best that I could do. Regardless, I talked about this in my folklore video briefly, but I guess this would be a good time to kind of catch you guys up on part of the reason why I was struggling so hard for the past year. And that is because I struggle very significantly with chronic pain. It is something I have struggled with for years, since I fell off a cliff about 4 years ago. 2016 in July. I fell off of a cliff and crushed the left side of my body pretty much. And I have had severe shoulder pain since then. And I kind of have written it off and tried to be like, oh, it's just a bad day, it'll feel better. Or, oh, I'm sure this isn't what chronic pain is, because in my head chronic pain was so much worse than what I was experiencing, because I didn't want to diminish what other people were going through. And so to me, I just acted as if like, oh, this is just normal aches and pains. In reality, it was not. Now that I'm sort of on the other side of it, I still struggle with it, but in a different way. Being on the other side of that, I realized how much pain I had been in and for how long. And about a year ago, yeah, well, over a year ago, it started to get really bad. It started to just be something that was plaguing me all day, every day. And I describe the pain to people most as like, it's my left shoulder, the back of my shoulder, so my back / shoulder. And it's like someone has, I described it as like the hook from Moana that Maui has, and they're just hooking it up under my shoulder and I'm like dangling from it. That's what it feels like. I wish there was a better way to describe it. It literally feels like it's like this one pinpointed location that is just like someone has shoved an ice pick in there and they just keep nailing it in farther and farther. It is a horrendous pain. When it's really bad, it is debilitatingly bad. And it's there pretty much every day, but it just started to get worse and worse and worse. And I went and saw a doctor and had MRIs done and x-rays done, and pretty much told me there was nothing he could do for me. And I went to physical therapy for a little while and it didn't really do much. And I just got to a point once we hit quarantine specifically that I just like was in such a bad way with pain that I was absolutely desperate. Like I knew I could not continue the way that I was all day, every day. It was all I thought about. I was somewhere on the pain scale between like a 7 and a 9 on most days. And it was just like pushing and pushing and pushing through. And I was just miserable. So I ended up going back to the same doctor. It had been maybe 9 months, maybe a year by the time I went back. And it was the worst doctor's experience I've ever had in my whole life. Maybe I will do an additional story time on that because this is already probably gonna be a long video. But I had the worst experience with the doctor I've ever had. And I was so desperate and I broke down crying in this guy's office. And I was just like, you have to do something to help me. Like, I can't keep living like this. I can't keep doing this. And I'm like, at that point I had been at like an 8 and a 9 for like 2 weeks straight. And I was like, if you don't do something, I don't know how I'm gonna how can I keep doing this? I wasn't suicidal or anything like that, but it was just like, there's no way in this world I can continue in this amount of pain. And finally, after more bullshit happened, I got referred to a pain management doctor, and he has changed my life in so many ways. I was very hesitant about going to a pain management doctor because I did not want to be on narcotics. I did not want to be on all this medicine that was going to make me loopy or had the potential of being addictive. That was not the journey I wanted to go down. Just because of family history and just personal, I just didn't want to go down that route because I didn't want something that would mask the pain. I wanted something that would take the pain away. And I'd been very hesitant about it in the past, but decided, okay, I am freaking desperate and I need help. So I will do anything. Like, I kept saying to my mom and to my friends that like, if I had to like tap dance naked in the Grand Canyon on national TV, like I would do that. Like I would do that's my dog groaning behind the camera. He's sick of me. We've been in quarantine for 6 months. But I would have done anything to feel better. And so I actually went and saw this doctor, and it turns out that he was fantastic. He listened to me. He understood the kind of pain I was talking about. I filled out a lot of surveys and a lot of paperwork and did examinations and all of that jazz. And we kind of figured out more or less what is causing my pain, and it's nerve pain. So it has some sort of nerve that is damaged in one way or another. It could be from the excessive amount of inflammation in my body, which is kind of a cyclical thing because the pain causes the body to inflame and the inflammation is what's causing the pain. So it just keeps kind of like going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it just is like a vicious cycle. And so we've been able to do some treatments, mostly injections, to be able to help stabilize me a little bit. We've done, I believe, 9 to date, and that's since maybe April. So yeah, it's been a lot of shots. It's been a lot of big old needles, real deep down in my shoulder. But that being said, it also has been natural supplements that I've been taking because he knows, and he is not a doctor that likes to rely on opioids and stuff like that because he knows how dangerous they are. So he would rather go every other route we can go first. And so we were really aligned with that, which is amazing. He gave me a lot of natural supplements to help with the inflammation, to help stop that nerve from firing off all the time. And I have been better than I have in literally 4 or 5 years. Like, I am so much better, but I am nowhere near out of the woods with it. I am still having flare-ups that are absolutely the worst amount of pain I've ever felt in my whole life, and just unimaginable pain. I had that 2 weekends ago when I'm filming this. I had, I guess it's what they call a breakthrough pain day, which is just like absurdly, incredibly horrible pain out of nowhere. And it can last for days or hours or whatever. Mine happened to last for about 3 days, 3.5 days. It had been slowly declining. I had felt the last shot I'd had wearing off, and it was just like, it hit me like a freaking freight train. And I was so miserable that I could not sit up, I couldn't lay down, I couldn't lay on my stomach, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't stand, couldn't lift my arms. I was in so much pain that I could not focus on anything at all. And I ended up missing a day of work and just being like, I actually can't use my arms to like type on a computer or do anything besides lay down, and it was so freaking horrible that it was in my arm, it was down into my elbow, into my forearm, into my hand, and my fingers, and up into my neck, and it was just horrible. And luckily I got another shot that thankfully helped calm a lot of that. But the good news is it wasn't supposed to be this long of a story time about my pain, but I am looking at possibly having a new procedure done that could potentially be life-changing according to my doctor. So I'm looking forward and really crossing my fingers and hoping that that will be something that I'll be able to have that will really help kind of just change my quality of life. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of the chronic pain situation. So that has been a lot of what has affected my mental health for the past year. I mean, just among a lot of things, 2019 was a very turbulent year for me and my friends and my family. Like, it was just a hard year for everyone. I started to feel a lot better around January, February. I was doing like pretty well, and then we got smacked in the freaking face with the coronavirus, and I have been in my studio apartment with my dog for 6 months straight. So, you know, there's a lot of civil unrest going on. There's the worst president in our history in the White House. There is just a lot of utter, complete, scary, horrible bullshit going on. I mean, it's currently literally orange outside because half of California is on fire. Like, there's just, like, 2020 could not be a worse year in general for people. So as soon as my mental health was doing a lot better, it was just like, oh, we entered into quarantine. And even being in quarantine, I am so much better than I was last year. I'm on a new medication regimen. I've been in therapy twice a week, pretty much every week in 2020. I'm back down to one now, but like doing much better than I was in 2019. It's just like, there was a lot going on, you guys. I don't really know where the hell life got away from me, but it sure did. Let's give you some happy updates. How about that? Happy updates. Really fun news is that I am going to be, hopefully at some point in 2020, I will be a certified makeup artist. So I will be able to practice professionally, which you can do without a certification, but I wanted to go through the whole process of doing that. So hopefully by the end of 2020, I will be a certified makeup artist. So I am so excited about that because this channel was initially started to be a makeup channel. So that may be kind of weird from the people that came from Taylor, which I'm so grateful you're here. But the vision I have for this channel is for it to be a makeup and beauty channel. So if that's not what you're into, that's okay. We still want you to come hang out. There will be Taylor content when things happen, but this is not a Taylor Swift channel. So I just want to make that clear. But I have fallen so far in love with makeup, even more so than I have been, and I've been obsessed with makeup for literally years, but I'm so in love with makeup. I've really enjoyed getting to be at home more, not this much, but more working from home, having a bit of a slowdown in life because work and living in LA and commuting and all of that jazz is a lot. So to have had this time to kind of slow down a little bit and figure things out and everyone's on the same page because no one has any idea what's freaking going on in this country right now, has been really great. It's been really hard to watch, you know, the things happening with the Black Lives Matter movement and the, you know, just absolute criminal injustices that are happening in this country. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to hopefully having a new White House very soon. And please register to vote. My God, please register to vote. Oh my God, please just vote. Please don't vote for that guy, but please vote. But yeah, guys, there's just been so much going on, and this is just a quick little update. I really hope that I will be able to be back to making videos regularly. This feels really good, and I haven't done this in so long, but I'm feeling better, and I am ready to get back to talking about things that I love. I think the first thing I want to do is like a favorites video, because there's so many things I am obsessed with. As me, as the pop culture person that I am, there's lots of things I'm obsessed with, but also with makeup. And I'm just ready to talk about happy, fun things and to dive into makeup because I love it so much. I'm so excited, you guys. I really hope that this will mean the start of me posting more regularly. I'm not going to make any promises because mental health comes first and physical health comes first, but I wanted you guys to know that I missed you. I've missed hanging out on this channel. I've missed being able to be a part of this community, and I really hope that I'll be back, you know, more consistently now. So I gotta get back to work. But it was really great to talk to you guys. I hope to talk to you more in the comments. I hope to see you again very soon, and I hope no matter what this channel turns into, that you'll stick around. So I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Parker. This is Stories in the Dust, and I really hope you'll stick around a while. Bye, guys.